Hey, this is Bugpadadust. Thank you for joining me for the final episode of my Rimworld Colony tutorial series, and we've arrived at episode 10. And this one is all about the mods that you can add to the game. Now, as I've mentioned a couple of times before, I'm not one to add mods that change the gameplay significantly. Merely quality of life mods and that make the UI more usable. So I've got a few mods here which I think will add to the UI and to make things a little bit clearer, a little bit quicker to see. You spend less time in menus and clicking and more time with your focus on the action. So I think these are the ones that I'd recommend, but of course you are more than welcome to go and try any mods you like. Which brings me on to how do you add a mod to Rimworld. So let's start with the basics. Alright, so you go to Steam. This is the first step, very, very important. Now, when you're in Steam, what you do is you go to Community over here and find hubs. Now, if you've been in it recently, your Rimworld hub might be here, but if not, you can type in Rimworld and go to that. And then you go to the workshop over here. Now, in the workshop, you can browse around, see what the most popular ones are, most subscribed, most recent, la-di-da. Or, if you know which one you're searching for, you can search for one, say, Rimhud, for instance. Then click on search. We can see here's Rimhud. Now, Rimhud is one of the first ones I'd recommend because what it does is it gives you what we've been seeing in the series so far to a whole lot more information. This is really, really useful. So if you're interested in trying out this mod, you simply click on subscribe. Now, bearing in mind, you must be doing this from your Steam client or in a logged in browser session. Either way, this has to be logged in as you. So you click on subscribe. Now I've already subscribed to it, so I don't need to do that. And that's all you need to do. So once you've done that, perfect. Then you exit out. You may have to restart your Rimworld client. So I'm going to go back out to the main menu. And if you haven't restarted it, please do. And then go into the mods folder. And we can see here Rimhud is here. So if I just click on enable, Rimhud has come up. Now if it comes up red, just bear in mind what it says. Depends on Harmony. So Harmony is like a framework, a library, if you like, that a lot of mods rely on. So we're going to click on that, and we are going to tick it. And then, again, it's in red. Oh, why is it in red? This mod is in the wrong order. Just click on Auto Sort. It'll put it in the right order, and it's good to go. You click on Close. Oh, and now it has to restart. So every time you add a mod, the game has to restart. So you just click on OK. The game will restart pretty quickly. And then you can go to the game that you're playing. Now, most mods that you're adding, especially if they're just UI mods, are probably not going to break any existing save. So let's load the save that we were on. And you'll get a mods mismatch warning saying that, well, actually, you saved this game with just this, and you've added Rimhud. Doesn't matter. Click on load anyway. It tells you what you're using here in terms of your mods. Normally, this is empty. So we can see now that it's loaded. And if we click on one of the colonists, we can see now we get a whole lot more information. There's a whole lot more that you can access just from down here, bottom left-hand corner, that you'd normally have to be clicking into menus to get to. Super, super useful. You can also configure this considerably, and you can add things like surgery success chance factor, or how many headshots have they got, how fast do they move. This is really important because normally if you want to see up move speed, you've seen me do this a couple of times, you have to go into the information tab, scroll down, try and find the move speed, or has it gone? I can't see it, and you're sort of mucking about up and down, and you finally find it, move speed. How long has that taken you? Whereas normally you just look down here, move speed 4.14. So if you're comparing the move speed of an animal, say you're hunting an animal on the map, the animal has turned manhunter, and he's chasing your Fleming here, for instance. Megasloth moves at 4.8, Fleming moves at 4.14. He's not going to outrun it. You can see that straight away, within a few seconds. You can see here also that the stars are how passionate they are about that particular thing. Again, this is super, super useful. So Rimhud is the first of my recommended mods. All right, let's load another one. So how do you load a mod? You go escape, quit to the main menu, confirm. You go back to Steam. You choose the ones that you like from Steam. You restart the client. And I'm going to add these in now, and I'll run you through them very quickly. And I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so we're back. Now immediately you can see that things look a little bit different. So let me highlight the mods that I've now installed. So these are the ones I usually run with, and it does make life a lot easier. So when you zoom out, you can zoom out very nicely and still see where the most important things on the map is. And you can hover over them and it tells you who the colonists are, who your visitors are, and it's really quite important. And you can zoom right in. This is called Camera Plus, the Camera Plus mod. If you ever want to know what mods you're running, you just click on Options and then Mod Settings. And these are most of the mods that you've got installed, providing they've got some kind of settings on. So, you've got Camera Plus. The minimap up here, this is super useful, especially if you've got a fire somewhere. You can kind of hear a fire, but where is it? Well, it really does highlight itself on the map very nicely. You can click on here just to jump to the area. And this is, yeah, it's extremely useful. You can click on the settings and you can change the way it looks, change the colours. So if you're colourblind at all, then you can obviously deal with that situation by changing the colours to something that's more appropriate. Change the size and the scale. You can show what to show and what not to show. So I don't really care about plants. If you do care about plants, you can click the button. So on here, it's not brilliant. But if you're playing on, say, a desert map, for instance, or an ice sheet, not an ice sheet, nothing grows on an ice sheet, but on a very cold map, drawing plants would be quite useful, potentially. You can show hostiles, not hostiles, etc. So this is called Dubs Mint Minimap. And again, I'll be linking all of these mods in the description. So yeah, you don't have to write all this down. Just click on the links that I'll put below. All right. The next thing is you'll notice that several times during the playthrough, we were wondering, oh, which of these weapons have people got? And you had to click on the person, then you had to click on, well, you had to either click on gear or you could see it down here at the bottom. Either way, a bit of a drag. So what you've got now is it actually shows you beneath the colonists what they're armed with. Again, super useful. Very helpful indeed. Now, the other thing is, because obviously I do YouTube videos and people will want to know what temperature is in centigrade and Fahrenheit, I've included that for both. And I totally get that. America obviously uses Fahrenheit. We use centigrade. I can't do the conversion in my head. And I assume that people in America who watch this don't like doing the conversion in their head to centigrade. I can't say I blame you. So this pleases both people. This is only a little small thing, but I think, it adds to the quality of life. All right, what's next? We also have the color-coded mood bar. So you notice the background behind these people. Now, this does exist to a degree in the vanilla client, but it's very obvious here if people are happy or not happy. So you can see that Jonathan and Ara are somewhat yellow. Fleming is this kind of, what colour you'd call that, kind of grey-blue colour. And the higher the bar, the more they are, or the nearer they are to being completely satisfied. If someone was super happy, it'd be green, or blue, then green. They'd be super happy. What this also does is, if they have a infection, it tells you using colours if the infection is winning, or if it's running about the same as the immunity, or if the immunity is winning. So you can see at a glance if any of your colonists do need looking at very quickly in terms of their infections. So that's actually quite a nice touch as well. All right, so some of the other things that we've got a weapons tab down here. Now, this is more for the stats, but if you're unsure which weapons are better than other weapons, and especially because it's not just the different weapon types, you've also got the quality of weapons as well. So say you had a couple of different weapons. They're both heavy SMGs, but you want to know what the difference was between them. You can take a look on here, and say one heavy SMG was good. You're thinking, well, what difference does good make? Well, you can see here, and you can obviously arrange by each column. And if you hover, it tells you what it is. Damage per second with accuracy included, market value, damage. So damage is quite an important one. So a bolt action rifle does a lot of damage. It's got a lot of penetration. Its range is really good. Its cooldown is 1.5 seconds, and its warm up. So this is effectively their aiming. So how long does it take to go from you telling them to fire at something and them actually firing? 1.7 seconds. And then you can see here, this is the accuracy as well. So this is short, medium, long range. This is what these three values stand for. And what it is that they actually fires. And you can say, well, show me weapons that are on prisoners, on hostiles, on friendlies. So suddenly all these friendlies pop up because it's now looking at the weapons of these people in the background. On corpses maybe, in storage and craftable. So you can actually use this. Say you've got a weapon and you think, well, I know I've got a short bow somewhere. Where is it? Double click the short bow and there it is. Really useful. So yeah, I'd definitely recommend the weapons mod. Very handy indeed. Another one I use is numbers. So you can also press the Z key to get to this. Now the numbers, this is actually really nice because as well as giving you records like who's had the most operations, or how many times have someone been set on fire. It gives you like a list there, for instance. You can just right click to get rid of it. It's very, very quick. So say time spent, I don't know, say kills, for instance, right? We can see here that Jonathan has had 22 kills. That's insane. Well, that's including animal kills. So if you go back to this, we can see kills human-like. He's only killed 3. But if I put on kills animals, you can see he's killed 19. 19 plus 3 equals 22. So we know that he's actually he's got a high number of kills, but it's because he's the main hunter. You can add in, so who's got the best construction? I want to see that very quickly. You can sort by the bar here. So you can add lots of things to this. You can see who's got certain abilities, who's your doctor, various different stats. It's super useful. Again, you can right click a column to get rid of it, and then you can add different columns in from here. So hostility response, this is quite useful. What do they do if they react to how do they react to nearby enemies? And you can see it's ignore, attack or flee. You can see very quickly who's got what. Otherwise you have to take a look at is it assign, I think it is, yeah, to see the same thing. So that's quite a nice mod to have as well. Okay, another couple we've got replace. Now the replace function I kind of alluded to earlier. Say we have a situation where we actually want to replace these wooden walls here with granite. We've got lots of granite now. So normally you would have to choose these 2 walls, click on deconstruct, wait till they're deconstructed, and then click on structure, go to granite, and then put in granite. Well, no longer do you have to do that. Now all you have to do is you choose granite and you just do that. Bloop. And what that will do is that will replace these walls with granite. It's really quite nice. And it also adds this item as well if you want to do it via this menu. Not entirely sure what the benefit of doing this way does, because you can just write over the walls directly using this feature, but certainly adding this feature is super useful. So in the instance where I was replacing bedroom walls with marble, I could again do the same. So I'm replacing that with this, like so, and that will now make marble walls. Easy. Otherwise you have to choose them, deconstruct, wait, and then put the walls back up again. So that's really, really useful. The other mod that is also very good, you might have noticed, is that now the mining resources are now highlighted in very, very obvious colours. So if I zoom out, I can very quickly see where the different resources are. So steel is in orange. You've got compacted machinery is in yellow. We've got some silver ore there in blue. You've also got other colours for jade and also for what's the other one I haven't mentioned yet? Jade, and also gold itself, which I don't think is on display on the map. The point is that you can see it very easily. Sometimes it's quite hard to see without the mod. So again, it's a quality of life improvement that is very, very welcome. And finally, the last thing, last but not least, is the planning tool. Now, this planning tool is brilliant because with the standard planning, all you get is these things, which are kind of all right. In fact, they're just in white. But with the planning tool, you've actually got the ability to copy plans, to paste plans. You can actually use different colours for things. You know, it's really useful for planning out rooms. So you can say, do you know what? I'm going to use black for walls, and I'm going to build something here, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to colour it orange, so I know that orange means, I don't know, a hospital, for instance. This is like a walkway, and I'll put a door in there. So the ability to use different colours for different things makes planning out a base much easier. Otherwise, all you'd be stuck with is lots of things like this, which look like this. Rooms, and walls and doors, which are all the same colour. Okay to a point, but having the planning mod like this does make it a lot easier on the eye. You're a lot quicker to remember what you had where, especially if you use the same scheme all the time. So for instance, I always use black for walls. And then I use, I think, yellow for the kitchens. I can't actually remember. I've not used it for a while. But my point is that colour coding really, really helps. And that's really it for now. Those are the mods that I use, or I tend to use in every single playthrough, and I found them to be super useful. Now, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mods out there, some of which I probably haven't stumbled across and I'd find really useful. But the beauty of doing this to a wide selection of people on YouTube is that they give me the ideas for the good mods. I was very anti-mods to start off with. In fact, 6 months ago I didn't use any mods whatsoever, but slowly and surely people saying, why don't you use this mod, it will make life a lot easier. And I did. And do you know what, although I could go back to using no mods, it's kind of a pain in the neck, and it's extra clicking that I can do without, especially when the going gets tough in Rimworld, which it frequently does. So as I said, I will publish a list of those mods and where you can click to get them in the descriptions, and you can go and grab them for yourselves and have a try. And if you don't like them, simply go to the mods window. It's very easy. You go to the main menu, you go to mods, and you can just turn them off. Right, turn off all these mods. I don't want these anymore. But they'll stay on this list in case you want them again in the future. And if you really don't want them anymore, you simply go back to Steam and you click on unsubscribe, and it will remove it from your Rimworld client as well. So then it's gone completely. So there we go. All right, we have come to the end of this 10 series playthrough. I hope it was useful. If it was, tell a friend. And I'll be starting a new playthrough, not a tutorial playthrough, but just a hardcore playthrough. I feel like a tribal challenge, I think, a cold tribal challenge somewhere. That's going to be coming very, very shortly. So there we go. Good. There we go. We come to the end. Thanks for staying with me. Thanks for watching it. Any comments or feedback, again, always very welcome. And I'll catch you on my next playthrough. You take care of yourself.